Hey everybody, welcome to Chin Fat. In this episode I'm continuing these tutorials on Davinci Resolve, and we've gone through the scopes, we've gone through the basic primary color wheels down here, and now I'm going to start covering the curves here. So the curves, you've got your basic RGB curve, then you have a whole bunch of different types after that as well. We've got Hue versus Hue, Hue versus Saturation, Hue versus Luminance. We'll go through most of these here. But the standard one here is this custom one, this custom curves here. And the custom curves, when you've got this selected, you have this line that goes straight like this from the bottom left-hand corner all the way up to the right. There's no curves yet. We'll show you what the curves mean in a minute. But the way basically, you can look at this node as your dark node, and this is your highlights node. And then if you move down to this corner, this is going to be the turn it down corner, and this is going to be the turn it up corner. So if we grab this node here and we start dragging it up, what you're going to see, you're going to see the low lights start to push up first, but eventually as we push that up, it's going to go all the way. Think of this as a gradient from black all the way to middle gray, all the way to white. So as everything is getting boosted up this direction, it's boosting up the mids, but it primarily started with the darks. And as you push that all the way up, look what happens to our waveform there. The darks get redefined until everything is just full on white. So I'm going to bring that back down. And if you drag it down the opposite direction here, it's going to get darker and darker and darker. Now all of these grays and everything along with it is going to push over to the side till everything kind of moves down and everything is just pitch black there. So now it's the same with the whites, but you'll notice when you grab the darks start moving down first. And if you do this one here, this is the white node. Remember, it goes from black to middle gray. It's like a gradient to middle gray to white here. And as you grab this, look, it starts bringing down the tippy tops first on the waveform until everything is black. And same as we push this way, it starts boosting them up until everything is white. So if you go in the middle and you click on the middle of this somewhere, like the middle gray, you can go click right there and it adds another little node there. And when we push this is where the curve starts happening. But what this does is you're pushing it up, it's pushing up on a curve all these mid areas here in your image. And then, but it's leaving the black point down here and the white point up there. So it's not affecting your highlights. It's not affecting the tippy top of the highlights. Those are going to stay like right there, but this will still boost up like the mids until you basically start to crush everything. And same thing, pulling it down will change the exposure. The way a curve would normally work down here is to create what's called an S-curve. An S-curve, first of all, so if we're wanting to define our image here, we want to create some contrast on our image, but first of all, we're going to, let's boost our exposure on this. I'm going to get this exposure so it's kind of in the mid-50s. I'm going to go over to our mid-exposures here and grab it and push this up until our image is kind of exposed in the mid-50s here, so we get kind of a general exposure right there. But now we can start bringing the darks down, bringing the highlights up, and create contrast here. So I'm going to grab this node here and I'm going to push it down until the darks are going just like right below 10. And then I'm going to grab my whites. I'm going to push them up a little bit as well and get the whites where they boosted up more toward white here. That's starting to look a little overexposed, so I'm going to stop right about there. Now, we defined our black point to where we're not crushing our darks and highlights, where we're not crushing our highlights on like the highlights are not hitting 100, the darks are not hitting 0, the darks are a little bit below 10, and the highlights are around like 80 or so. Now what we can do is we can move up and we can grab a portion of the grays maybe right about there and a portion of the highlights right about there. And we're going to push the grays over here until everything starts squishing down toward the bottom. And then we're going to grab this one here and push the highlights up. And what we're doing as a result is we are creating contrast. I'm going to undo this. I'm going to show this on a separate node so I can turn it on and off. Here I'll do Option S, make a new node. And with that node here, I'm going to my darks have already been defined. My highlights have been defined. I'm going to put a node right about here, and we're going to push down the low lights a little bit more and go up and push up the highlights a little bit more. And that stretches this out and keeps exposure in the middle. But now we are creating more contrast. This S-curve makes it so you can create contrast, push down the low lights, push up the highlights without crushing these darks and without crushing these whites here. And that way you preserve detail in the whites and in the darks. You have some space below and up above. But now we have done this contrast spread in the middle. So let's show you what that contrast spread looks like. I'm going to turn this node off. Command D would be Control D on a PC. Turns that contrast off. And look how much better that looks. Look how much contrast it looks. So I use a first node here to basically redefine my darks and my highlights and stretch that out. But now I'm using this second node here to do this contrast curve right there. So that's where the curves are really helpful, is to create this S curve. It's shaped kind of like an S here that spreads out the contrast and makes the image look contrasty without destroying the details in the darks and the highlights as well. Another thing you have access to here is, I'm going to do a different node here. Let's do a third node here because I'm going to keep playing with these. And I'm going to go to this function right here. And what you've got is these are all chained together. You have the Y stands for your brightness level. Then you have a red channel, green channel, and blue channel. And I covered that in a previous episode where I was talking about being able to control the contrast levels and the darkness levels in your red channel, your green channel, and blue channel. You have 3 channels to a video signal. The red channel, you'll have different levels of hue, saturation, and luminance in the red channel, in the green channel, and the blue channel, and that's what gives these variances in colors and darkness levels and everything in this image. It makes the image what the image is. So, and then all 3 of those are almost like a sheet of cellophane that's in the reds, green, and blue that's been all composited together into one final image. If you want to control the lights here, you can hit Y, and if you want to control the red channel, you can hit R. Then green is G and B is blue. So you have access to all these individual color channels here. So if you really want to look at this, I would recommend looking at these on a histogram, on your histogram scope. This will show variances in different channels here. And it looks like with this overall image, I've got just a slight kind of mountain in the middle of my exposure right here. Boost in the red and the greens, and the blue's a little bit suppressed. So we could choose the blue here, and you can see that here when it gets into the 70 IRE area, that the blue is a little bit suppressed more than the green and the red. And the low lights look fine, so so it's just mostly the mids and just around 70 IRE, anywhere from probably around 30 IRE to maybe 70 IRE where these things are mismatched a little bit. So what we can do is we're going to work on our blue channel. I'm just going to boost this mountain up right here to match the green and the red. Well, let's go green first because green's a little lower than red, so I'm going to go green first. And I'm going to go somewhere in the middle here, and you can slide this around. You can slide this up and down and change your location, but right there, that green looks like it is fairly matched to the red, especially in the mid exposure right there. But now the blue is a little lower, so we can go to blue, and we can grab the blue channel and do the same thing and boost that up and meet that in the middle. So let's take a look at that before and after, because I've already done some contrast fixes here on my S curve, and on this one I did these individual red, green, and blue channels here. So I'm going to turn that off. Command D, watch the color. When I hit the Command D, it will turn off this node. Command D, see that warmed up a little bit. So Command D, that cooled it off. And this feels a little bit more like sunlight to me than this does here. That feels a little warmer. It still looks good, but that looks a little bit more like just sunlight blasting in the room. So that's what those curves can be used for. Let's talk about these other curves here. If we hover over these, it'll tell you you've got Hue versus Hue, Hue versus Saturation, Hue versus Luminance, Hue, Luminance versus Saturation, Saturation versus Saturation, and Saturation versus Luminance. So when you have something versus something here on these curves, basically the Hue versus Saturation, whatever it is versus something else, it's going to be the first word is what you are changing, and the second word is how you are changing it. So this is going to be selecting a very specific hue, like blue, red, or green, or we're going to change the saturation on that hue by using these curves. So let's start off with Hue versus Hue here. And I'm going to add another node to mess around with this. We're going to go Option S there, or what would be Alt S on a PC, and I've got a clean node here with nothing on it. So now what you can do, if you're on this first one, Hue versus Hue, you can go up and select a specific color. Let's move up here, and I'm going to scroll up to these. I'm going to select this yellow on these flowers right here. I'm going to go click and click on there, and it adds 3 nodes on the bottom here. Now these screens, each one of these screens, as you move over from left to right, you've got red to green to blue to reddish, and as you hit the end here, this continues over to this side right here. So you leave with red, and then you enter with red over here. So sometimes the nodes can be put over here, and you'll see it. The 3 nodes moving over onto this side of the screen and on this side of the screen. Right here what we've got is we've got a stopper node, and the middle node here that's going to change the hue of that. It's going to change this from yellow to different hues along the wheel here. So it'll go from yellow to green to blue to magenta to red. So watch this as you move it up and down. I find myself not really using this one, but that range of yellow that I selected right there is changing that from red, magenta, green, and so on. We probably don't want to do that to those flowers because they look good like that. So you can right-click on that node, it gets rid of it. Right-click on these nodes, get rid of it, and it gets rid of them. Sometimes this is probably the one I use the least, but once in a while, if you're trying to fix maybe a skin color and make the skin color look accurate, you can go up and click on the skin, and then you can change the hue slightly to get it to be more accurate. Usually you're not going extreme and doing that You're just using it just for a little bit of a corrective feature. So that's what Hue versus Hue does. Let's go to the next one here. And this next one, if we hover over it, will show this is Hue versus Saturation. Hue versus Saturation is going to select a specific color here. I'm going to middle click right there and drag this over. If you middle click and drag, it'll drag your canvas around like that. But let's take a look at what it's doing here. If we grab our yellow, select on the yellow here, it selected kind of that range of yellow right there. But now as I slide this up and down, you'll notice what it does is it will start to desaturate that. So it's pulling the saturation, pulling the color out of it, and as we push it up, it will boost the saturation. So sometimes this is used, this is a type of secondary color grading where you're selecting just the yellows and you're pushing up the yellows here to maybe to make them pop a little bit more. See, we can even leave those popped, and we can go, let's go Option S to do another one. And I'm going to do one more node where I change the green here. So I'm going to hover over the green, click on that, and it puts a little node right here, middle node in that green. That's exactly the color I clicked on. And as we change the green here, let's boost up the colors in the green, the saturation, and look at them get more and more saturated there. We're going to exaggerate it here so you can kind of see the difference. But now if I turn this node off, watch this, Command D, watch the green, Command D. See how that muted the green? And let's select this one and do Command D and turn off the yellow. So watch again, here's my yellow, I'm going to turn it back on. You'll see what I've done there. More yellow, click on this one, and more green. There we go. And now we can hit Shift Z to zoom back out. By the way, if you want to zoom, just move your mouse over the image and you scroll up. And then you can middle click and do this to drag it around. And then Shift Z will zoom it back out to look at your entire image. So I'll grab those two, but watch this. Command D, watch that plant in the background. And just slightly less colorful, and Command D brings that color back. So while we're messing with these flowers here, let's middle click, grab those. I'm going to reset these two nodes here. I'm going to right click and say reset node grade, and let's show you what these other features do down here. So Hue versus Luminance is going to change the darkness level, the luminance level of whatever you click on. So if we once again turn it to that and we go up and click on the yellows, or actually let's say we want to make the green stems a little darker so that the yellows pop a little bit more. So I'm going to click on this shade of green right there, and you can go down and grab this, and it's going to darken that shade of green. So as I drag this down, it will start darkening, and I didn't get a good selection there. What we could do, I'm going to widen this node, and we're going to get a whole bunch of these greens in between here. I'm going to add another node right there, and we're going to push down all the shades of these greens here and see what we get. So let's turn that on and off. I've got that selected, Command D. And there's a little darker, there's a little brighter. And if you want to brighten them up, same thing. We can move these nodes up. And you can see that that green shade is getting brighter or darker. So once again, if you want something to, I'm just going to delete that. Let's do that to the yellows. So here I'm going to grab the yellows here and just click right there. And now I've got this range of yellow, and as I drag this down, notice they get darker, and as I push them up, they get brighter. So sometimes if you want to make just something stand out a little bit more, you can brighten it a little bit, or if you don't want it to stand out as much, you can darken it a little bit. And you can do a bigger range of yellows here too by clicking on and making another node and bringing down this range of yellows, and you have a lot of control over there. So let's go over the next one here, which is Luma versus Saturation. So this is very helpful if you end up getting highlights that are a little too blue. And I'm going to intentionally do that, make it, because some cameras once in a while when you're shooting two different color temperatures, you're shooting indoor temperature and you have sunlight coming from outside, you can get a little bit more bluish in the image if your camera is balanced more toward the warm. So let's say that was done, that this was balanced. I'm going to grab this node and I'm going to intentionally, we'll pretend like the camera was already, it comes out of the camera like that. But I'm going to, with this node right here, I am going to go to my first curves, my regular curves here, and I'm going to push some blues into the highlights to simulate that sort of situation. So you can see down here now I've got red, green, and blue is higher down here on my histogram. So since that's the case there, right now my highlights have a little bit too blue. This is oftentimes very, very subtle, and it takes a keen eye to be able to tell that what's going on there. And I'm gonna exaggerate this even more. Let's push those blues way up there. So we've got a lot of blues in the highlights there. And now if we look at our highlights here, let's do a new node. And here we're gonna use that curve as a correction. So we are pretending that the highlights out here are looking too blue and not white. So if we go down to the next node right here and we want to correct that, you can go to your Luma versus Saturation and we can select what is supposed to be defined as white. We'll say that this is supposed to be white out here. Like we want white sky out there. We're getting a little blue there, so it doesn't look bad. But well, let's say we want our whites to be defined as white. So watch this. So we got right now we have really blue highlights. The brighter parts of our image are very blue. So what you can do is this is our entire histogram scale from dark to middle gray to white on a histogram here. As we reach this point, it's added these nodes afterwards. It's saying that what the white that you selected is this little dark node right there. So what we can do is say after this point, maybe around like 85, 90 IRE, we want to take all the saturation out of the whites. So we're going to drag this down, and this down. And now everything from this point up here is going to be completely desaturated. So now you look down here on the histogram, you'll notice that red, green, and blue are perfectly lined up. That means that is white. So now if we look at this, I'm going to turn this off. Look really closely here in the highlights. I'm going to hit Command D and turn that off. And do you see the blue come back in the whites, and then Command D, and now it's white. So if you want it to look white and your footage came out of the camera with the highlights looking a little bluish, you can tell that by looking at your histogram here for your highlights. That's the way to correct it, is with that feature. And you can do also the same if you're getting, once again, I mentioned that you might be getting some reds in the darks, and you can do the same thing by going up and selecting the dark here, something in the dark. And now these nodes down here, I can pull down all the saturation in the darks. That means all the colors in the darks and the highlights are desaturated, and the darks look black and the highlights look white. So there's not like a blue hue in the highlights or a red in the darks. But this image, we didn't have that trouble with the reds and the darks. But once in a while, you will get that depending on the camera. The next one here is going to be saturation versus saturation. That one I don't really have a use for. If anybody out there uses it, let me know. But that you're going to choose a certain level of saturation and desaturate that image. So let's add another node here, and we're going to try that right here. We're going to zoom up to the flowers, and we're going to go to saturation versus saturation. And I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to bring that down. And notice how it starts desaturating the yellows first. And that level of saturation there, it is desaturating first the flowers there. So like I said, I haven't found a reason to use this yet. If you do, you can mention what you can tell us in the comments what it does. And the last one is saturation versus luminance. That's going to take a certain level of saturated image and it's going to darken it. So if we go to this here, let me reset this node. We're going to go and click on the flowers again. Select that level of saturation and change the darkness for that saturation level there. So that will brighten up. Notice how it's darkening the flowers and brightening the flowers there. So that thing seems pretty helpful. But like I said, I don't find myself using the saturation versus saturation feature very much. That's it for the curves. That's all of our curves there. We've got our custom regular curves here, or what are also known as RGB curves, where you can change the red, green, blue, luminance, or chain them all together and change all of them at once. And then these other features here where you have the versus, the hue versus hue, hue versus saturation, and so on, to change very specific secondary colors within an image. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, I'm going to be going through secondary color correction, which is this one right here, using what they call the qualifier. Well, thanks for watching Chin Fat, and be sure to watch the next episode as well.